Hi everyone, welcome to Hoop Club Box 25. So this one is the biggest hoop we've ever sent out. So big it didn't even fit in the box. So yeah, as we were stitching the sample of the pattern, it just kind of getting bigger and bigger. We thought it would fit in one of our 8-inch hoops, which is the kind of biggest hoop that we use, and it didn't. So we improvised, and you have the huge hoop that you got sent. So the only thing, I'm just going to talk you through putting your fabric in your hoop and then finishing it off at the end, because the only thing that's slightly different is that we don't have a cardboard back for this size, so we're going to have to improvise there and show you some different ways and add to your kind of repertoire of skills around embroidery and embroidery hoops by learning how to finish the back off without the cardboard back. So we'll do that, but other than that, the kit is really straightforward. It's just a cross stitch kit that we've done lots of before, but I will give you the basics. But if you want a real in-depth cross stitch tutorial, then look at one of the other cross stitch projects that we've done in Hoop Club before. So there's the box 2, will give you everything you need to know, the teapot that we did with Brie Harrison, there's loads of cross stitch ones on there for just the basic cross stitch tutorial. But I am short on time, so at the moment I'm just going to show you how to finish off the back. So we are just going to put the fabric in, just in the same way that we always do. So put your bigger hoop on the small hoop on the table, should I say, and then the bigger hoop over the top. And then just push down and then tighten it up. So the bigger hoops are just a little bit kind of more cumbersome to work with, and getting it tight is just going to be a little bit of a bigger job than it would normally be. But just use the same method where you're just tugging away, tightening, pushing the hoop, and getting your fabric nice and tight. And you can iron it to get rid of the creases, but actually as you tug you should be able to get rid of those creases. So just keep tightening the screw and tugging the fabric through. So that is nice and tight now to work on, but as you're doing your project you might need to just keep retightening and giving it a bit of a tug to keep it nice and tight, because it's just easier to work with when it's nice and tight. So then I am going to just show you how to finish off the back. I haven't stitched it yet, but you've got two options. You can trim the edge right down, and you can put a line of glue on your hoop or inside here. You haven't got loads of fabric to play with, so on top of the hoop, and you can kind of stick down the back, the fabric. So just cutting it down and sticking it down with a glue gun works the best. If you don't have a glue gun, what you need to do is again trim down your excess. So take these big bits off. Again, you could glue this before you sew, but what we're going to do is use the felt to sew a circle onto the back. So you might find it easier to glue gun down the excess fabric and then sew the felt backing on. So to get the right size piece of felt, you need to draw around the inside of the smaller hoop, and that will give you the right size to then stitch onto the back. Then you're going to want to thread up one strand of a light coloured thread, and then we're doing a whip stitch, and we're basically catching you're catching the embroidery fabric and then the outside bit of your felt circle. So I'm going to start off my needle so I can hide the knot inside. And then I'm going to catch a bit of the embroidery fabric and then keep going along. Because you've cut the circle to the right shape, you should just be able to keep tucking the embroidery fabric in and catching the outer edge of the felt circle. So this is called a whip stitch. It's quite satisfying finishing it off and closing off the back of the hoop like that, and just gives you another skill in your toolbox. So if you are designing your own hoops and you want a way of finishing them off nicely at the back, adding the felt. Equally, you could add the felt with a glue gun. You could glue down the edges and then glue gun the felt in. Let's be honest, no one's going to really see the back, so there we go, you can see my stitches. So I just keep tucking in the embroidery fabric, catching a bit of it and then catching a bit of the felt hoop as well, all the way around the hoop until you're finished. So that's it. I've put this one in one of these plastic hoops that you can actually find in our shop, and mine needs an iron, but I'm going to come back and just give you that kind of basic embroidery cross stitch tutorial. But as I said, you can find that in lots of our previous videos as well. So I will be back with part 2 soon.